what if out of all this, a tour with Kendrick and Drake comes out? What you gonna think about that?
I would think Kendrick is the... I don't think J. Cole can come back from this, because whenever they're going to have this debate about who's the best, they're always going to talk about the fact that when Kendrick challenged them, J. Cole ran. You say what you want about Drake, but I'll say this, Drake ain't never run from no beef. All right. You heard?
About what?
They were shooting up Drake's spot.
Oh, I heard that.
There's another one. Apparently, some dude was trying to trespass, and they had to arrest him.
Of course.
Yeah. So a different person rolled up on Drake's home. And they're like, we heard y'all gathering predators. And so he showed up. He's like, I want to be on the map too.
And the thing that happened is that a lot of people said that the narrative was that Kendrick leaked his address because on the picture there was a lot of people know where he lives. It was a known thing. I think he even sang about it.
No, Kanye is the one who leaked it the first time. This was back in 2021, and then it was just public record since then. So we promised you guys, a lot of you guys wanted to hear our thoughts on everything. The tracks, the beef itself. For those who are not up to date, essentially Drake and Kendrick, as well as J. Cole, were considered the three biggest rappers. Drake and J. Cole did a collab song where they referred to themselves as the Big Three. Okay.
As a matter of fact, because 21 Savage cannot come to Canada, at his concert here in Montreal, it was J. Cole that was there.
Gotcha. Following that, shortly after, Metro Boomin came out with a song with Kendrick, where Kendrick said, there is no Big Three, there's just the Big Me. And then from there, Drake wasn't too happy about it. He released a push-up track. There's been more throughout their history, but these are the two most recent things that led to everything. He released a push-up song where he was going at Kendrick, saying he's the best dog, blah, blah, blah. And then Kendrick came out with Euphoria, said, hey, don't mention no family stuff. Drake comes back with Family Matters. And within 30 minutes, Kendrick drops. And he drops, and he didn't stop dropping. And then Drake dropped the last track, which is Hearts. I listened to everything from start to finish. I listened to them multiple times. I think you have to kind of catch everything. And I think even then that's not enough. Because if you're not up to date on every aspect of these people's lives and all their references, you're going to miss a lot of the bars. But I think that's a good general outlook on most of it. Kendrick and Drake go way back. They actually went on tour together where at one point Kendrick was opening for Drake. This was way, way, way back. But they had a falling out. And a lot of people have had falling out with Drake because Drake in the industry got a lot of enemies and a lot of people that he no longer kicks it with. So that's where we're at today. And full disclaimer, people are like, Abba, you're biased. You're a Kendrick stan and you hate Drake. Yes, I hate Drake. That's a fact. But I'm not a Kendrick stan. I'm not somebody who's going to tell, yo, good kid, Mad City. That's not me. Kendrick's cool, but I'm not a crazy Kendrick fan. I just don't like Drake. And I'll just be very honest and upfront. The reason why is he just strikes me as a fraud. That's it. I think one of the biggest things that I've always liked when it comes to hip-hop is people who are authentic. And everything about Drake is like putting on a facade and an act. I hate seeing him change his accent all the time based off who he's talking, from being in an interview and be like, well, actually, the way that I normally talk is like, and then he gets a Toronto and he's like, Karadi. Then he gets on a hip-hop track and then he's just saying nigga 100 times. Like, just something about him just never sat well with me. The type of music he makes, just everything. So yeah, I've just never liked him. And most of the rappers that I think I've admired most of my life never liked Drake either. So I think there was just a parallel that kind of happened there where somebody just seemed off to me. But beyond that, Drake is a very talented person, very skilled, big hit maker. You can't deny success. So you got to give him credit there. But I wanted to acknowledge my bias before doing any of this. Any bias you would like to acknowledge?
I don't think I really have a bias according to those two. The changing accent thing, I don't really mind about that. Maybe that's one of the biases that I have because I do that as well. Everybody does a bit of code switching from time to time. You don't talk the same way with your friends that you talk with your mom. He just does it in a more marketing oriented thing. So me, the fact that he changes accents depending on who he speaks to, I don't care about that. There's a bit for me. Depending on who I speak to, I'm gonna be able to speak differently and use the lingo that they understand, so that we can really understand to what level that we at. You know what I mean? We're gonna be able to understand each other at the same level. That's what I mean by that. We're gonna be able to I'm gonna be able to go from what's in my mind to what I really want to say, but with the same linguistic, the same language that we agree on. So that's the reason for that. The code switching, everybody to a certain point, people do it. You're not gonna speak customer service with, anyways. You get it. What
on this code switching thing?
Yeah,
I think the big difference is rappers value the authenticity, and generally, rappers who code switch like crazy are not well seen. That's why you catch Kodak Black; he sounds the same in every interview. You catch Future; he sounds the same in interview. Same with Kendrick. Nas, Tupac. There's a reason why they're appreciated for their authenticity. I'm not saying I'm a fan of all of these guys, but I'm just trying to say there's a difference, especially with the stuff he rapping about. He rapping about he a killer. He rapping about all this stuff. It's like you come off as a fraud. That's it. I agree code switching is fine for regular people who got to do the regular life stuff. That's not what Drake's doing.
I understand.
Drake is a child actor who turned into an adult actor. That's what I get the vibe of. But I just want to say that. But go ahead.
And I agree with that. The problem is not there you go. The problem is not the code switching. It's everything else. You're not a killer. You're not. You haven't seen that. You half black, half Jewish. Didn't grow up with your mom, with your dad. You grew up with your mom. Like you had a whole ass bar mitzvah. You're not about lighting people up. You know what I mean? Kendrick as well. I understand the work that he does. I like the work that he does. I don't like all the songs, but most songs I like. I don't really think I have really that much of a bias between those guys. To me, all this is WWE.
Can I get my hat? Where's my cap at? You claiming you neutral. You was born and raised in Canada. Cap, how you gonna claim neutral when you from one of the Six's allies?
We're not allies. We actually don't like Toronto.
Cap. Whenever Drake rolled through, all you be
All you what, roll through?
You bitches be like this.
Who's bitch?
Montreal, they be like this in the club.
But we're talking about me. We're not talking about Montreal.
Did you not go to this concert?
Of course, I go to a lot of concerts.
Did you not go to a Drake concert, though?
You know why?
Why'd you go to the Drake concert? I ain't never been to no Drake concert.
You know why?
I don't even go outside when Drake's in town.
You don't even go outside?
Yeah, so that's how much I hate.
No, it's just you don't go outside.
That's how much I hate.
Nah,
I be on my bike, and then it was like, yo, Drake's in town concert. I'm like, yo, I'm going home. Fuck this bike. Yeah, you don't understand.
And you just said it. Oh, just drinking that. Okay, just hold on. I'm going home. You just you use this bar. You're biased too.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's not bad.
Go ahead.
My thoughts on the track. I thought Push-Ups was trash. Trash is a strong word. I thought the first half was trash. By the second half, I thought he was really picking up, and I was like, okay, Drake's doing this thing. It's not bad. The first, but I didn't think it was crazy. It started off slow, but it progressively got better, and I was like, okay, you know what? This is like a not bad diss track. I'll give it that. Euphoria came out. I wasn't crazy about it. It was alright. That's what I thought. I thought it was alright. But I think then Drake came back with Family Matters. I'm like, okay, this is probably the best I've ever heard Drake rap over a track. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair.
Family Matters went hard.
Agreed.
Yeah, he said nigga a lot, but it went hard.
Yeah, but it was to prove a point.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want me to say it? Okay.
That was the first word he said.
Okay.
That was the first word he said.
With a little disclaimer, I don't think you should be saying.
They're trying not to say too
much. I'm sorry.
But you get the point.
Yeah.
But it was really good. I personally didn't like the fact that he was taking shots at everybody. I thought he should have just focused it on Kendrick.
Thank you.
Which I think is like the big mistake of Family Matters. I don't care that you got a problem with Rick Ross. I don't care that you got a problem with Metro Boomin or nothing like that. I want to hear you go straight at Kendrick or anybody in the surrounding who's part of his crew. That would have been fine. But just all these random other people, I ain't trying to hear all that shit. But I thought Family Matters, bar for bar, was fire.
Because I think that happened, I agree with you. And that's why I don't really count the first track from Drake as a diss track towards Kendrick. It was a diss track towards everybody that dissed him. So I can't start it from there. So I don't even count that I'm like, yeah, okay, you fired back forget the big three, it's just Big Me. You just fired at that and fired at everybody. Fired at Ross, fired at everybody that kind of dissed you. You know what I mean? Okay, good. Past that. Kendrick concentrated on you.
With Euphoria.
The whole track was about you. And then it was like, okay, you're going to make a whole track about me? Not just a little bar? Then it's on. So I don't really count the first one of Drake that did that.
Wait, no. Family Matters was the second one he did, and that was not just about Drake.
Sure, there was a little bit jib jabs here or there.
Yeah, no, right. the good a whole portion of like the second verse was about everybody else.
You're right.
Right? And then in the third verse, he came back to just talking about Kendrick for the most part. But even in Family Matters, he's still talking about other people. I'm like, bro, what you doing? If you gonna go this hard, I want to hear just about him. And Kendrick capitalized within an hour. Strategic. He already had this shit pre-written.
Yeah, he already had
Some people were like, oh, Kendrick, write fast. Let me tell you right now.
That was the definition
Me
of
hearing those songs and the fact that he dropped like, what, two of them after Family Matters? I could tell he had already pre-written those, and he might have just did some small edits.
That was the
which is okay.
Definition of one in the chamber.
But he dropped it right afterwards just to stunt the Family Matters, and it's unfortunate because people are not going to appreciate how good Family Matters was.
It was. I didn't know Drake I didn't know Drake had that in him.
I don't think in any of the previous beefs he had any track as good as Family Matters.
No.
I will say it is a bit annoying.
Just the fact that we don't remember the tracks from the other beefs.
Nah, like some people was like, oh yeah, Drake killing him. He even making a dance track. Like, I think sometimes people like hip hop. I don't think they like rap.
Yes, you're right.
You know, they're like, oh, it's too bar oriented. It's too like, it's like niggas want a track. They want a diss track. They can go to the club to and start twerking. Like, there's just some people who are in this like at least fandoms of hip hop. Like, I don't think they like bars. I don't think they like rap in general. But that's just like a little side. Kendrick comes back, and I think the first one he drops was 616, which for me is my favorite. I know everyone's like, They Not Like Us or Meet the Grams. In my opinion, 616 was the best one of all of them. That's my favorite one. That drops within an hour of Family Matter. And I'm like, oh shit. Kendrick going in. That comes out. Then I think maybe the next day, 12 hours later, what does he drop?
That was not right after?
No, I think it was like...
No, it was a couple of hours after.
Yeah, within 12 hours.
Yes.
He drops Meet the Grams.
Meet the Grams. Yes, that was
where he's talking about Drake's son, alleged daughter, the mom, the father. He's talking the whole family. Basically, just like, yo, this who your son is, this who your father is, whatever, this, that.
No,
basically sunning him.
Let me talk to them.
Yeah. And then afterwards, I think the last track was They Not Like Us, where he makes all the allegation in regards to the children stuff, the co-workers and things. And then Drake finally, first he says he's going on vacation, he's not going to respond. Then They Not Like Us comes out, and he's like, the whole rap community's like, bro, if you don't come back and say something, you basically got bitch slapped. So he drops the 6 Hearts.
Part 6.
I think that was pretty weak.
The Hearts?
It was substantially worse than Family Matters. He spent a lot of that track being like, deny, I'm too famous to be a pile, some shit. It was a lot of weird stuff. And then he talks about Kendrick getting diddled, which oddly enough was not what Kendrick said at all on his track. He was talking about how his mom was touched and how he was never. But it doesn't matter, because veracity and all this doesn't matter. These guys are just slinging allegations against each other. Mm-hmm. But as far as the music goes, I thought it was a weak track, and I think most of you guys are going to agree. You're probably never going to listen to that track ever again. Family Matters, I think, is going to live on. For me, it's a clear-cut W for Kendrick. But I will say, from a rap perspective, Family Matters made me look at whoever wrote that very differently. It was that good. It was that good. If it's Drake who wrote that, BBL Drizzy, you did your thing, okay? And if it's anyone else, it's like... if it's one of you guys who did this for Drake, you know what I'm saying? One of the woos, okay? Y'all did y'all thing, okay? And listen, we don't appreciate ghostwriters enough, okay? Y'all killed it.
Yeah, we all saw what the fuck you did there.
Okay.
I appreciate whoever wrote that.
Yeah. To be clear, it's already been 110% confirmed that Drake does use ghostwriters pretty often. Now, whether or not he used it for this song, that's a different story. But for me, once I find out you don't write your own raps, it's kind of a rap for me.
It's yeah, there's a dismissal there.
Yes, I've already thought you were an inauthentic person. Then I find out the music you make is not even yours. Whatever, that's a different story.
Yeah, and because of the era as well that you come from, you know what I mean? The music that you listen to. I'm a relic, you're a dinosaur. You know what I mean?
But maybe this ghostwriting thing's been going back further than I know.
But
like if I was to find out DMX didn't write none of his raps, if Tupac didn't write none of his raps, Nas and Biggie didn't write their raps, I'd probably just be like, hey, you know what, Drake, you get a pass. But to my knowledge, they wrote everything. And the way that they wrote was so distinctly different. it feels like it came from them.
Yeah.
Like, say what you want about Pac, but Pac wasn't the craziest lyricist, but his delivery and storytelling were one. If he had a ghost teller, that nigga wasn't that good. But
it
Pac,
was not, yeah.
I could see the patterns in Pac's writing. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I digress. I didn't want to get too far into that.
He's a storyteller. He could depict a picture very well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But all this to say, that being said,
Coconuts in Barbados.
picking coconuts in Barbados, I thought Drake did pretty good, but Kendrick still whooped his ass. And I think he did it strategically. I think he did it with how he addressed Drake. I think he also did it from being able to switch up the type of tracks. Like, he was doing everything from, a mustard beat to what he did on Euphoria, which was much more of a slow poem. Like, he really switched it up well. I thought Drake did the same thing in Family Matters, but Kendrick did it over multiple songs. He even had letters he was writing to the kids and the family. It was just crazy. Honestly, it looked like a full album the way it came out. So yeah.
What do you think? What if out of all this, a tour with Kendrick and Drake comes out? What you gonna think about that?
I would think Kendrick is the lamest nigga I ever seen. Yeah. If they start shaking hands and going buddy buddy after this, I think Kendrick.
But what if it was already all planned?
Super lame. Because Drake is already an inauthentic weirdo. But Kendrick's brand is now going to be completely separate.
Tainted.
Yeah. I think even the West Coast. If you're watching right now, you're a big Kendrick fan. You on the West Coast, whatever it is. And you find out this was all planned and everything.
Yeah.
How you going to look at Kendrick afterwards?
No.
Mr. I don't do interviews. I'm all like down to earth, and you doing a whole publicity ton of fake beef.
Yeah.
That's corny.
Yeah.
That's super corny.
Yeah, he's going to be looked different. You're right.
What are your thoughts on the tracks? I said all my piece. What's your piece?
They're pretty similar to yours. Although I'm not going to say that it was trash.
Which one? Part 6?
Yeah,
Six?
I didn't say that it would be trash. It's just that my point on that, the only thing that I would add to what you said is that that's not how you win a beef. You don't win a beef by saying, it's not true! And it never happened. And I'm disgusted. That you even insinuate that it did. That's not how you win a beef. But you're pretty accurate.
Any thoughts on any of the tracks?
OVO. I can't.
That's never going away.
Listen.
Yeah.
You're talking about people. People don't really appreciate it. I appreciate hip hop more than rap.
Yeah.
But and it was saying, well, Kendrick didn't. But when he put out that song, I'm sorry. I was like,
OVO is definitely gonna be a bop. I've already heard some people playing "They Not Like Us" in the club, and it's bopping.
Yeah. It's like,
It's bopping.
I understand what you're saying, my friend, but I don't know, man. When that whole beat came out, I was like, oh shit.
OVO. Now step this way. Step this way. Step this way.
And then,
Are you my friend?
And then also special mention to
A minors. I think that's the bar that's gonna haunt Drake forever. There's a lot of them.
A minor.
There's some classics.
It's probably
Trying to strike a chord is probably a minor.
And then if you play that in a club,
Yeah.
like everybody's singing that, thinking of you. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's got they put a anthem with your name linked to it.
It's over. People will sing that, and it's crazy because Drake tried to come back on what's it called? Hearts Part 6.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think he said B chord. What did he say? Do you have a part? He tried to play on the A minor chord. Or he said a chord, but he had like a. Yeah. So he said
A minor and B sharp. Yeah, that's what
you mentioned the A minor, but niggas got a B sharp.
I didn't catch
that. Was weak.
I didn't catch that.
I caught that. I'm like, you tried to come back with, but you just couldn't. You couldn't keep up with it. And if you think bar for bar, the most memorable lines are going to come. I thought Drake came in with a good line, which one was like, you always rapping like you're trying to free the slaves. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Playing on the persona of Kendrick. He had some other ones that were pretty decent.
Yeah.
But you talk about the memorable ones, even the ones like, a deadbeat motherfucker should never say more life. That was also hard. Or he ended that verse with that one. Mm-hmm. That one was also strong. I thought Kendrick, one thing he did really well, every time he wrapped up a track, I think he just ended on such a strong note that it sticks with you. And it gives the illusion that, like, I just gave that person a knockout punch. Drake just never gave me that over the course of this beef.
I gotta give a special mention to Metro Boomin for giving me the first diss beat.
They call it a Distrumental.
The Distrumental. Yes, that's good. BBL Drizzy.
Thanks. That's wild.
Disrespect.
BBL Drizzy gonna make that booty queef. And you're straight out of Canada. My little maple leaf. That shit went hard. I'm not even gonna front.
Disrespectful.
Pause. That's crazy. All this to say. As far as the shooting that happened at Drake's property, that was rather serious because I think, from what I understand, a couple of assailants in a car drove past, shot at the home where Drake was staying, which is called the Embassy. And one of the guards at the front gate was shot. He's in critical condition. Currently, he's out, and it's life-threatening, so he may not make it. Since that happened, everyone's like, hey, guys, this is not funny. I don't know what you guys think rap beefs are like. To me, this is par for the course. But yeah, wrapping this whole thing up, I think it's pretty clear that with Drake wanting to bow out and now walk away from all this, you know, Kendrick cannot drop another track and win, but I hope he drops another one, you know, something just to conclude all this shit. But he's already won, so I don't even think he really has to. And also, dropping another track, especially if it falls flat after how good his last couple tracks were, may not be in his best interest. I know the fans want it, but if you're thinking from Kendrick's perspective, unless he got some more shit to say that's different than the rest, I don't know how much more he can really say without repeating the same shit.
Exactly.
I think it might be best for Kendrick to really just walk away as well. Because he's already won. And he's won by a landslide. But overall, outside of the allegations, which seem fairly credible to me about, you know, at least grooming and stuff, I think this is good for both parties. I think good for hip-hop in general in a weird way. I don't think I've heard people discuss hip-hop this often. The streams are off the charts. The people probably looking up these artists and then discovering a lot of their discographies and all the other people involved. I mean, listen, I don't think I've heard people say Metro Boomin's name so often as now. I didn't even really know much about that mother. So I think it was good overall for hip-hop in general.
And the person that did the best thing was J. Cole to walk away. Sometimes it's better not to just engage in that shit.
I mean, it's a meme, in my opinion. I think it's pretty whack. I think J. Cole, if he wants to call himself one of the top best three and a rap challenge comes along and you walk away, that's weak sauce to me. You can't come up there and say top three and then one of the top three trying to challenge you and you walk away. That's weak sauce. Now, we can make the memes that like, oh, you see what happened to Drake? But just don't say you're one of the best then. Shut up about it.
What's going to prove that you're the best is you keeping making tracks. Make bangers and keep making bangers.
Even Drake fans say that Kendrick won. You got DJ Academics, the biggest Drake stan in the world, saying Kendrick won. Trust me, this is literally going to define the rankings for a very long time. And I don't think J. Cole can come back from this because whenever they're going to have this debate about who's the best, they're always going to talk about the fact that when Kendrick challenged them, J. Cole ran. And I don't think anyone could tell me otherwise. That's always going to be part of the discussion. That's the equivalent of trying to decide the GOAT in basketball. And then when it's time to compete against the other person, you will have the opportunity. You call in sick that day. Can you do it and still win the championship? Sure. But they're also going to acknowledge the fact that you was ducking him whenever the time for a duel came to be. Sure. I'm just saying. The fans wanted it. I don't think any Cole fans were happy that he was walking away. You could say he was being the bigger man.
Think so. You're right. Yeah, I don't think that any Cole fan was like, yay. But
and to be fair, they said it first, right?
They said what first?
J. Cole and Drake on that track says, we the top three. And then Kendrick threw down the glove. He said, what? There's no top three. Best me. He said, I'm the only one at the top. You walking away from that means you've already seceded that
That means that you're the third.
You can say that.
Not the second.
You can say that.
What would you
say what you want about Drake? You say what you want about Drake, but I'll say this: Drake ain't never run from no beef. If somebody says something about him, he go at it. Fair. So I may not like him, but at least I'll respect the fact that when it comes to actually rapping and then going about it on a track, he does it. Mm-hmm. Now, does he lose? Absolutely. Other than Meek Mill, I think he's taking a bunch of L's. But he's still there fighting, and you have to commend that.
Sure.
But any other thoughts about this rap beef?
No, not really.
J. Cole, anybody?
I think it's pretty much done for.
Okay.
Unless there's like a little upside or whatever, but I don't think there's much to say about that. Like you said. So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much done. I went to Drake's concert because I had money.
See?
The thing is,
sell out. You gotta sell out. Once he makes some money, all of a sudden he twerking at a Drake concert.
No, I want to know. Like,
You want to know if Kiki still loves you? She does.
Of course, I want to know who's Kiki. Who the fuck is Kiki?
Yeah, you mean.
And why she love it? I want to know who Kiki is.
I bet.
No, the thing is happened is that before I didn't have the opportunity to go to concerts. There's a lot of concerts that I missed that I wanted to go to when I was a kid. Like, for example, when the Fugees and Cypress Hill came to Montreal, that was crazy. Missed it. Why? I couldn't ask my parents for money to go see concerts. They had other obligations and I got that. I'm curious. I'm gonna go see everything. I don't know an artist, I'm gonna go see him. I'm gonna go. So that's pretty much the reason why. But certain concerts that I'm not gonna go. I'm not going to Asiaga. I'm not
Okay.
going.
You don't have to explain.
I'm not explaining.
If you like Drake, you like Drake.
This clown over here.
All right.
Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I really have. It's entertaining.